Okay, so I think it's about time. So, welcome to the program, and I'm Sunho Kim. I'm the director of this program. I'm working at the University of Southern California. So, if possible, can you turn on the camera? So it's a small group, so I just want to see, your face. Okay? All right. Okay. Nice to meet you. And then today, I'm gonna have some kind of short, the orientation. So I know we have more students, but in the past, and some students they are not attending the orientation, but that's fine. So this Thursday, and then we have a special lecture. It's gonna be a very interesting lecture. And then next Tuesday, and then we are starting the real lecture. Okay, so I'm gonna share the orientation material. Mm, Okay, so this one. Okay. All right, can you see the slide? Okay, good. All right, so this is K-Daily Data Science Project Camp. So, today, and then I just want to provide some overview of the program. And then, most of you maybe know already about this one, but I just want to, say uh, some details. Okay, so I just want to explain what is the goal of this program. And then we have in a project, and it could be very interesting. It's a team project. And I'm gonna introduce, the schedule, and I'm gonna introduce, organizers, instructors, some domain experts, and then, some, information about, working environment. And most importantly, and then we're going to have a question and answer session. All right. So this program is for high school students. Definitely, you know that. And then I'm assuming that, you already know the Python programming language. And I want to combine the knowledge of Python programming and then the data science knowledge. And also we want to perform some interesting the project. In the past, and then, we have some data science projects, usually data analysis, but this year, and I want to have some specific, somewhat more like, more advanced, like AI and the machine learning, the project. And then you already know that at the end of this program, and then we have some kind of, a camp at the USC. And at the end of the program, we have, a 1 day hackathon. In the hackathon, and then, we're gonna evaluate the performance of the project. So this is overall around 6 weeks the course, and then every lecture we have 2 hours, and then for the first 3 weeks, and we will meeting twice a week, and after that, and once a week for the project, and finally the offline the camp at USC. The content, yep, again, the Python programming language, and then there are some review session of, Python programming language, and then we will teach, some libraries and some, programming uh, skills for data analysis. And then in the project part, and I'm gonna provide you some kind of tutorial for machine learning and image object detection. And we have some tutorials and we have some guidance and we have data set. So, you can successfully, finish, the project, I guess. Yeah. And for any kind of data science, the program, and you need to understand some basic, data science knowledge, like and what is the statistics, and then how actually can handle data, and we will discuss that. So throughout the program, and you are supposed to, study, these basics too. And definitely in some parts, well, we are just teaching only the essentials, and yeah, you are supposed to learn by yourself because the actual teaching time is not that much. So we will providing some materials, and then we are providing some guidance, but most importantly, and you need to put your time, and then you need to study, by yourself. And then we have data science project, and then at the end, 2-day offline camp. And then there are some homework. Yeah, but well, unfortunately, we cannot grade the homework. Again, this is a kind of self-study. So yeah, please, try to finish, the homework. And the overall, the composition of the program is something like this. And then, well, we have data science related course, and we have Python programming language oriented course. And then, well, there are some separate the guest lectures. So we have two guest lectures called in Meet the Readers. And yeah, you're gonna hear some very interesting things from the field, actually from the field experts. And at the USC, and we have code question camp, and then you're gonna have campus tour, and then you're gonna also have some kind of the group the work for the project. And the last day, and then it's July 26th, Saturday. It's a whole day hackathon at USC. And actually, this hackathon is a bigger kind of event. So, and well, you are participating as a high school student, and then at the same time, there are some in the college student. They are also participating. And then after all this, and then what in the fall, and then you may participate in as a data journalist intern within a K Daily and with me. So the Python part. So I'm expecting, yeah. So you already know, yeah, some part of the Python programming. Am I right? So everybody is familiar with Python programming. Okay. So Uh, anybody has, no idea about, Python, for example, before? No. So, or anybody has, okay, I have lots of, knowledge about Python programming language, and then I have some experience in performing some project. Let me know. Okay, would you please provide some feedback? Yeah, and how do you describe, your Python programming skill level? I need to understand this, yeah, because based on yeah your understanding of Python, and I need to yeah the control adjust, So, uh, uh, did you take any kind of Python programming basic the course before? Just simply raise your hand or just click the button. Okay, all right. So then, do you have any kind of data science project related Python programming? Like simple data analysis. Okay. All right. Then others, and then how do you describe, your skill level? Okay, so this program, and then it's not, one-side lecture. So we have, the project. So your active participation is extremely important. So if you're not interacting with the instructors, so it's gonna be very difficult. So please, just tell me. Don't be shy, and this is just, Okay, so far, Leon and Sarah, and you expressed that. How about Aiden, Daniel, Jaden, Julia, Yudam, Urin?
I took a little bit of classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the class means, what, at the, regular class or some online course?
Online, but it's like
Online.
regular.
Okay. So then how many hours of the lecture, for example?
Wait, what do you say again?
So how many hours of online course, did you take?
Uh, I don't really know.
Hmm. Okay. So how about others? All right. So maybe you're a little bit shy today. So, but well, again, yeah, in this class, and then it should be, a little bit more interactive. So you need to provide some feedback. Otherwise, and then and especially this is a kind of small class, so it's mutually, the beneficial. All right. So I'm expecting, and then yeah, you all know the Python, and then in the first 2 weeks, and then 4 lectures, and total 8 hours. And we will review, Python programming language skills, and then some basics, knowledge about, data analysis. And yeah, in the project part, and we will study what is machine learning and how Python can handle machine learning. And the one, the example of machine learning that is, something called the image object detection. So using the image object detection, we will perform, the hackathon. Okay, so if you follow, me and then instructors, and then you can successfully, finish the project. And it's gonna be fun. So Python is a very powerful programming language. And even though the syntax, well, it's pretty straightforward, and then, well, it's not really complex, or very powerful, technically powerful programming language, but it's powerful because there are already, lots of solutions in the form of packages and modules and the libraries. So if you know some basic, Python programming languages, yeah, you can use, all the solutions available, and which is developed by all others, by experts. All right. So that is the power of, the Python programming language. So that's why, and when you say machine learning these days, yep, everybody is using pretty much, the Python. All right. So understanding Python is, yep, these days is quite the important. All right, so we will provide in the lecture notes and then tutorials, and then while you're gonna study the lecture notes and the tutorials, and then of course, as I mentioned, well, we have some limited amount of lecture time, so you are supposed to study by yourself. And again, these days, and then there are so much, materials on the web. So, well, when we have some kind of topic, so definitely we can study, all right, online. And yeah, you can use some ChatGPT, and they are very helpful. I think, these days everybody is using generative AI, right? So how many of you, are using, generative AI for your study, like, ChatGPT? Okay. Yep. And then did you have any kind of, experience using ChatGPT for programming? Okay, one. All right. Yeah. So again, generative AI is very helpful in programming. All right. So if you know how to use those, AI tools, and it's gonna be very, very, very helpful. All right. But again, you need some kind of minimum knowledge about the programming, to use generative AI tools, right? So hopefully, and then you can study, such a basic knowledge, during this summer. And then we will provide some example code. So using those example code, and then you can follow instruction during the classes and, your self-study and, yeah, you're gonna learn, the better. All right, and then we can give you some homeworks for self-study. All right, and then we have project. So it's a data science team project with 4 to 5 students per team. Yeah, but in the past, and then, yeah, because um, you can decide your own topic, and then yeah, because we have limited amount of time, I allow this kind of big the teams like 4 to 5 student. But this year, and I will focus on only one, the problem. So we will give the problem definition and all the data set, so we can reduce the amount of work. So you can focus on only the solutions. So I plan to reduce the size of the team. So maybe 2 to 3 students per team. All right. I think that is enough because, when you are deciding your topic and then, some, team members need to understand some kind of knowledge about the problem itself. So for example, if you want to solve some social problem, then you need to understand the social kind of issues related to data analysis. But this time, and you don't need to. You can just focus on the programming. So basically, and then, real world problems using public data set. Yep, this year, and then, mm, image object detection means, when you have some given image, and then, using machine learning, and we want to automatically detect what kind of object is inside the image. All right. So sometimes we can detect multiple objects. So for example, we have the image of street. So maybe we want to detect car. Maybe we want to detect the people. We want to detect some kind of structures like traffic signals. So sometimes, and we need to detect many different objects in one image. But that is a little bit too much for you. So, I'm going to give you some kind of task. So from the load surface images, and we are supposed to detect the potholes. All right, only one object. Okay. So again, detecting some kind of load damages, and then that is a very important, real world problem actually, especially in Los Angeles, and then you may know that the surface of the road is terrible. And of course, there are lots of different types of road damages. There are some cracks, all right? And then, one type of damages is a pothole. And then, we will detect the potholes from the images. Okay? And then, yeah, yeah. If you have some, the questions, and then definitely we can provide, uh, yeah, some advices. But mainly, and based on the tutorials, and then some self-study, and you are supposed to perform the project. Okay, at the end of the project, and then we have 1 day hackathon, and then, you're gonna complete your project and during the hackathon, and you are competing with others. All right. And we are providing some kind of test data set, so we can automatically evaluate your the program. And yep, there are some kind of standard the measurement, something called accuracy, and using those accuracy with test data set, and yeah, we can decide who is the winner. And after that, we're gonna have closing ceremony. I think it's on uh, the end at the uh, end of the hackathon, or the day after the hackathon. I need to check that with K-Daily. And we're gonna have the closing ceremony, briefly, and hopefully, and we can have some kind of presentation. You can prepare some simple presentations. All right, this is the schedule, and I think you already received this information. Today is June 10th, orientation, and then we have two, special lectures. One is this Thursday, and then another one is July 10. Okay, and yep, we have CodeQuest hackathon. Yep, and then the most importantly, the first section is about Python programming language, and we are starting 1 week from now on, so June 17th, and yep, we are starting the lecture 1, and in 2 weeks, 4 lectures, and we're gonna cover some basics of Python. All right. So this one is assuming that you have some decent knowledge of Python. So, well, if you feel like, oh, you need to remind, okay, your Python knowledge, then you have 1 week from now on, okay? So please, review your Python the knowledge, okay? So, and then especially in Python part, not just simply program language, Python program language, skills, and then we are also providing something like data science introduction and some machine learning concept. All right. So remember that we are going a little bit fast. And in section 2, mainly July, and yep, we have the 4 lectures, but this time we are meeting only once a week, and we will discuss about the project. And then what is the exact the project? And then, well, we are preparing for the website, and then, well, maybe in a week, you're gonna see the website, and then you will check what is going on. So it means what? So you need to form the team as quickly as possible, and you're gonna check, the project as soon as possible. All right. So start, your project as early as possible. Then almost you have, 1.5 months. So as a high school student, and then you are starting earlier than others. All right. So I think, you're going to have, enough time to study. So any questions about this schedule? No. All right. So we have the instructors here. So, well, yep. I'm Sono Kim. And then I'm a research faculty at the USC, but at the same time, I'm the president of some nonprofit group, something called the SODAVI, Social Data Analysis and Visualization Group. And actually, this SODAVI is working with K-Daily to operate this program. And then we have the members from SODAVI, and well, the first 2 lectures. And Emma Park, and she's going to teach the first 2 lectures. And then, yeah, she graduated from USC, and she has, a master degree in computer science from USC. And then now, and then she's working at Microsoft as a software engineer. So she has pretty good, knowledge. And we have Min Sang Yu, and yeah, he also graduated from USC and master in applied data science, and then he's a SODABI member, and I think the last 2 lectures in Python, and he will teach the course. And for the project, and yeah, everybody, and including me, and gonna participate and well, help you. Okay. And then we have another member, Sarah Bang, and now and she's a data analyst in Cedars-Sinai at the hospital, and she has some experience in data analysis in the field. We have two wonderful uh, guest lectures speakers. The first one this week, and Mr. Domin Lee, and uh, yeah, he has lots of very interesting kind of experience. So he worked at DreamWorks as a kind of team leader in special effect. So well, if you saw DreamWorks animation movies, so like How to Train Dragon, something like that, and you can see that his work like generating lots of crowd. And after that, and then he worked at the TikTok for around 4 years, and then now very recently, and he moved to the Sony in a game company. So now he's working at in a game company, and then he's also adjunct faculty for the USC Cinema School. So he will give a very interesting lecture about yeah, special effect in the movies. And then another the guest speaker is Christine Zhang, and yeah, he is also researcher at the USC Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism. So she is not an engineer, but she is working on the media analysis for many, many years. So like, well, one of the very interesting data analysis these days is, how to analyze the social media data. So she has, has been working on, those social media data analysis for many years. So like, in the past, lots of, the text, the message analysis. But these days, and then, well, she is interested in some TikTok, data analysis or some kind of in YouTube, and then, lots of in the media. And then also, when there are some very, successful kind of media content, like the Squid Game from Korea. And then yeah, they are also studying that how the kind of foreign the content can affect the Americans, for example. So yeah, she has lots of interesting the examples. So it's gonna be very fun. All right, the working environment for this program is basically yeah, it's an online education, and then you're gonna use your own computers. All right. Yeah, but well, in general, and then well, normal programs, and you can do that using your computers without any problem. But team project, and especially some image machine learning requires some computing resources. So probably you'd better use the Google Colab. Anybody has some idea about what is Google Colab? Okay, some of you know that. That's good. And I think for the student, there are some kind of free account, free resources by Colab. But well, if it's not free, then I think you can spend some amount of money. I think maybe $10, $20 per month, something like that. Then yeah, you can have enough computing power like GPU for the project. All right. And for the Python programming language practice, and then well, I think our instructors they're gonna use Jupyter. So uh, what is Jupyter? So in Python programming, and then well, Jupyter is a very convenient kind of tool. So if you don't know Jupyter, and then please study it. Okay? And it's pretty easy to use, and it's very convenient when you program Python. All right? So Python is a interpreting program language. So you can execute in line by line, right? And then Jupyter is providing lots of convenient functions in executing Python programming or debugging your programs. And then, well, lots of different, things in an interactive way. Okay, and then when you have in a project, the discussion next month, and yeah, we're gonna have the Zoom break rooms for each team. Gonna meet separately and then discuss the project. Okay, so far any questions about the program? Is it clear? All right. Okay, so then I just want to introduce this the group Sodavi. And then Sodabi is a kind of non-profit organization. And then our mission is helping the Korean American community in Southern California. How actually we want to provide some kind of data and data analysis services. Well, everybody knows that these days, and then well, data is really important, right? So without data, there is no AI because AI is learning knowledge from data, right? And the government, and then well, lots of organizations, and they are collecting data, and they are also providing the data like free of charge. Lots of publicly available important data, like the local government, like LA, and they are providing lots of public data set, and then the federal government and all other local government or media companies like LA Times, and then academia, and they are all providing really good quality the data. But the issue is, well, the Korean community, and then we don't know how to take advantage of such the data, because many times data is too big and they are mixed. So we don't know what part of data is meaningful for Korean community and how to extract some relevant data. And then yeah, we can go further how to manipulate and how to analyze those data for the Korean American the community. So, and we want to, provide, such service. So, for example, the federal government is providing gigantic amount of public data, and then maybe we can extract some part of them which is related to Korean community. So, for example, one of the recent, the project. So the CDC, and they are providing all the data about, how Americans are dying. Okay, what is the age and what is the cause of the death, and then well, there are lots of details. All right, but well, one interesting thing is, yeah, one of the data item is the race, and then well, there's a clearly marked as a Korean, for example. All right, and then we can just extract the Koreans, and then well, we can process it and analyze and how the Korean Americans are dying in America. All right, so that is a very interesting question, and then we can go one step further. So the cause of Korean Americans, and then in general statistics of Korean Americans' death, how they are different from others, how they are similar to others, something like that. Okay. And similarly, and then we also studied about the natality of the Americans, how Americans are, giving birth. All right, all the babies, they are all recorded, and then well, they are even the government is even marking the race of fathers and the mothers. All right. And then also we can check the Korean father, Korean mother, or Korean father, the other, uh, race. And then we can study all those things. Okay. So that is also quite interesting. But anyhow, so without that kind of analysis, and then well, we are always hearing about some average, right? Average Americans. But what if average Americans are different from Korean Americans? Then we don't know ourselves, right? So we are providing such services. We have some, the history about, 7 years of, history. Yeah, but well, sometimes, and we are working actively, and sometimes, we are very slow. And for example, during the COVID period, and then we are very slow. But well, recently, and then yeah, we want to do many interesting things, again. All right, and then also we are providing this kind of the educational service, teaching the high school student, or we can do some event, with other the groups. So, and then, well, if you are successfully, complete, this program, and if you are interested in working in this kind of, social data analysis, and then, yeah, later, we may have some chance to, work together. In the past, and well, the couple of the high school student, they worked, with us. All right, so that is the end of today's the orientation. But most importantly, and if you have any questions, and then this is a really good time to to talk. Yep.
How much would you recommend reviewing Python, or like how would you recommend to do it?
So say again, what?
How would you recommend to review Python before we start the lectures?
Okay, that's a good question. So it all depends on how much knowledge you have. So if you have some just basic knowledge about Python programming, and then just simply maybe taking a couple of the YouTube lectures, maybe 1 or 2 hour lectures, and then just remind some basics. All right. If you are kind of an intermediate the programmer, then maybe you already know some basics, what is the function and what is the kind of then you can more focus on data analysis related the modules. So you can simply search YouTube, or ask ChatGPT, and they can provide lots of the materials, right? So, and for example, some to perform some basic statistical analysis. So, oh, by the way, how many of you understand statistics? Anybody has some, taking course in statistics? Okay, then some basic knowledge about statistics is required. All right. And again, well, you don't need to spend a lot of, the hours, because full, statistics, course, it's gonna take, 1 semester, right? Yeah, but again, some very basics, like, in anyway, and you studied, some basic statistics in the past, maybe in the middle school mathematics, like what is the average, what is standard deviation, right? What is the kind of distribution, something like that. And again, maybe I can provide, some materials about, statistics and probability. Again, you don't need to, study many hours. What I'm saying is just a real, very fundamental knowledge. So maybe 1 or 2 hours of basic the statistics, like mean, average, and then deviation, standard deviation. What is the meaning of sample, population, and then such of things. All right. So if you are good in Python programming, and then yeah, you'd better more focusing on the data analysis packages like pandas. All right. And then later, when you study about machine learning, and again, we can focus on the machine learning modules and then libraries. The Python is all about packages and libraries. All right. It's like Lego blocks. So you have fundamental small unit of Lego, right? And then if you have two fundamental, the blocks. So for example, if you want to, construct some kind of street using, Lego blocks, and if you are supposed to making everything, it's gonna take lots of time and effort, right? And you need to make, the car, you need to make some bench, you need to make some buildings, you need to make some people one by one. It takes lots of time. But, in Python, well, there are already, well-defined and well-made the modules. Like, well, all you need to do is just design the street. So if you need some kind of car, you don't need to build a car from the beginning. You just find what kind of car. Somebody already created a car using basic blocks. So you just get it and then put it. If you want to put some nice building, again, you don't need to build, the building from the scratch. You can find some good building already, built, and you just get it and then put it. All right. Of course, you can modify it slightly if you want, but the main point is, well, Lego block, which has already lots of some ready-made kind of, the object. All right. All you need to do is, how to get it, and then using those existing, building blocks, and how actually you can create the, beautiful, the final project product. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions? Or you have some kind of expectation? So how do you understand this program? So, and then when you complete this program, and then what do you expect? So yeah, some general expectation can be, oh, I'm gonna have some more experience in Python programming. Yeah, but that is too a little bit, ambiguous, right? Anybody has some specific goal? Okay, so yeah, we have some time. So yeah, and this week, and you have 1 week, and please think about what you want to do after learning the Python programming. And then I already gave you some simple description about the project, and something called image machine learning and object detection. Maybe you don't know what that means exactly, all right? And then that is your homework. So ask ChatGPT or searching for the YouTube, and then figure it out. What is object detection? All right. Now, object detection is a pretty simple concept, but this is a really, really important, the skill techniques in AI. And when you understand AI, artificial intelligence, and then AI need to learn from the real world, right? So AI gonna learn the real world in many different ways. So for example, AI gonna learn the real world from text, like ChatGPT or any kind of generative AI, and then they you know that when ChatGPT is learning, and then it is scrolling lots of web content, and most of them are text, right? Like the news articles or encyclopedias or somebody's opinions, the comment. All right. By analyzing all those texts and then AI is learning, oh, what is going on. All right. So simply extracting some new knowledge and information, and then adding those new knowledge and information to the existing knowledge system. So AI is getting smarter. Another important thing, and then AI is learning is, from visual analysis. All right. So AI need to watch what is going on. And then the best way to understand, what is going on is, just detecting some interesting object using cameras, actually, using CCTV or some kind of smartphone or YouTube. Anybody has the Tesla car? And so in Tesla, and then there's a monitor, and then you can see how many cars are around your car and how many passengers around the street, right? All those are the example of object detection. Tesla has lots of sensors, and then many of them are cameras, and they are analyzing, they are trying to detect the nearby cars and passengers and bicycles. And they are focusing on some specific objects around the car because those are very important. Because we don't want any kind of collision, right? And then maybe they are not really good in detecting benches or some other trees, something like that, because they are not really interested in those objects. So, remember that one way to AI to understand the real world is using the visual analysis from cameras, and the basic is the object detection. Very recent news these days, and then the Meta, gonna invest a huge amount of money for object detection, right? Because we studied the text a lot so far, but now and then we want to understand the images and then audio, sound, something like that. Okay, so it's gonna be very interesting. And then once you know how to detect one specific object, then definitely, and then you're gonna create some other models to detect some other object. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, please others, and next time, and then let's talk a little bit more. All right. Don't be shy. Again, more and more this kind of discussion based learning is gonna be more important. So already generative AI, and then in general AI, and they are so important, especially in learning. All right. So the classroom learning environment, and then maybe we are losing some kind of base because people can learn online using all those AI tools, right? And then still, and then we believe that AI cannot teach how to communicate well, and then how to generate some kind of creative solutions through this kind of discussions. So if you learn more communication skills, and then how to work with some the people, of course with help from AI tools, and then those gonna be very important. It's getting more important actually. Okay, there is some questions. Groups in teams or independent. But I'm recommending some kind of team project because but you are not advanced the programmers, so maybe you need to help each other. So 2 to 3 people, and you're gonna form a team, all right? And then inside the team, and especially in the machine learning, and there are multiple kind of, tasks should be, done together. So you can, take some, the roles. Then later, we will discuss that. Okay, the how to choose, teams. Yep. So, maybe later, and then we're gonna have time to introduce yourself, and then then you can have some chance to meet and then decide, how to form a team. So if you can form your teams by yourself, and that is good. And then otherwise, we need to check, your skill set, and then hopefully we can have some kind of balanced the skills in a team. Yeah, but it's gonna be a very interesting, project. So yeah, I have been working on this, object detection, for a while, and especially we have pretty good, the tutorial, and then we have really good data set. And believe me, programming itself is not that difficult. All right. Of course, understanding the overall concept, and it requires some knowledge. But amazingly, the Python program itself is not that difficult. So what age and grade do you have to be to this camp? I don't know. Is there any kind of, limit? I don't think so. Yeah, K daily, and do you have any answer for that? I think, the high school
Yes,
student.
there's no limit.
Okay. Maybe not too young, and then it's a problem, right? Maybe somebody who is really young. I don't think, we have that young, yeah, the student. Okay. Anything? All right. Yeah, so it's gonna be a very interesting program this year. So, and then let's have some fun. And yeah, again, I'm gonna provide some materials, and then we will meet this Thursday. All right. Okay. See you.
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.